Tyson Philpot, Montreal Alouettes receiver. How are you doing, man? You healthy? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. It's been a uphill battle for sure, but we're getting through the clear of it. We're about 80%, so ramping it up towards training camp and looking good for the season.
How did you suffer the injury, and what exactly was the diagnosis?
Yeah, so on August 10th against Hamilton in Montreal, I suffered a Liz Frank ligament tear. So I completely tore the ligaments holding my foot together. At first, we didn't think it was that bad, and we did some more X-rays and realized the extent of the issue. So yeah, I had that tear. Had a surgery on August 23rd to put a screw in the foot and just hold everything intact, and then on December 2nd, I had a second surgery just to take that screw out and put in a tightrope, a fake ligament pretty much, just to make sure that thing is never going to tear on me again. I had a little bit of ankle surgery as well. So just taking care of that whole foot, making sure everything's all good. And yeah, it's been a battle so far, but we're getting through the clear for sure.
I hesitate to say this because I don't think any surgery is minor.
Yeah.
But when you go in there the second time, what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of experience, so a little bit less nerves. But yeah, it's definitely not a fun feeling. Definitely, I wasn't walking for about 4.5 months after that too. So just realizing how much you need your feet just to do daily tasks. And yeah, like you said, no surgery is minor. So hopefully the first and last of my career, but just another step in the road. That's all.
What's the projection, in your mind in terms of when you're aiming to be ready for?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm I'm a typical young guy that likes to push himself, and when the doctor tells me 6 months, I say 4 months. So yeah, so right now my projection was to be April 15th at about 90%, and return back to football activities. I've kind of cheated that, and I've been back doing football activities since about April 1st, so about 2 weeks early. And then, yeah, projection will be ready for game one. Training camp will probably be not ready for the day one, but picking it up slowly. And then hopefully by, scrimmage, preseason, we'll be, 100% ready to start that season.
So as you're going through the rehab process, your team, the Alouettes, make a pivotal decision at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Cody Fajardo moves on as they go with Davis Alexander. How did you feel about it from the receiver perspective, considering the memories you made with Fajardo and the seminal moment that you had in the Grey Cup?
Yeah, it's a tough decision. Both of them are my boys. I love Cody to death. I think 10 out of my 12 career touchdowns or whatever it is are from Cody. So yeah, it was a tough decision, man. I'm glad I don't get paid to make those decisions. But Davis is a young guy that's been, he came in at the same time as me. He's learned so much from Cody, and Cody was such a good leader and mentor to him that it's kind of sucks to say that he kept his replacement to get him to replace him. And yeah, I'm so happy Cody was able though to find a place in Edmonton, and I really think he's people are underestimating him. He was playing the best football of his career. So, yeah, I think that there's going to be an interesting quarterback battle over there for sure. Cody's not just going to lay down and let anybody walk over him. But super excited to have, Davis having the realms. And I was just down in Arizona training with him for the last week. And, yeah, he's locked in. He's ready to go. So excited for him to, make a name for himself in the CFL and, yeah, show the world what he can do.
Was there anybody else there with you guys in Arizona?
Yeah, I was down there with my brother, Jalen Philpot, Tyler Sneed, JJ Letcher, Wesley Sutton. Yeah, it was a good group. Alouettes with a little bit of Stampeders mixed in there, but we're getting some good work.
And when you look at this offense and the potential that it could have with Davis Alexander, I asked this because Austin Mack was talking about that he feels like Alexander's arm strength can open up the entire field,
yeah.
Whereas with Cody Fajardo was a little bit more, and I'm kind of using his words, paraphrasing,
yeah.
underneath and
yeah.
timing patterns. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I think one thing about Davis is he's not scared to throw that deep ball, and having receivers like me, like Austin Mack, like Tyler Snead, and Charleston Rambo, can't forget about him. Um, Downfield guys, guys that want to just run past DBs and catch the ball and score in one play. I think Davis showed a lot of that in practice when he would get his opportunity to play with us, and even when he had his little 4 or 5 game stretch. We're hitting the deep ball, and that's something that we talk about as a receiving group that we want to do more of. And no knock to Cody, he's super efficient. He made the great throws, and he did go underneath, and it was high completion or high percentage completion. So I think Davis is going to add a new element to the offense, but he can't forget the underneath stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Austin made a rather bold prediction that your receiving core could have 4,000-yard receivers in Davis Alexander's first year as a full-time starter. He referenced that Jason Moss has done this before as an offensive coordinator.
Sure.
I believe it was with the Ottawa Red Blacks when that team won the Grey Cup. You know your history, as did Austin Mack. Do you think that's possible?
Absolutely, man. I mean, if you look at last year, I had about 808 games, 9 games. Cole Speaker was around that 800 mark. Charleston Rambo was around that 800 mark. And that was with, Davis and Cody, both playing. I think Caleb Evans even started a game too. But yeah, Davis has that potential. Like I said before, he's not scared to throw a football. 50-50 ball, he's throwing it. So I don't even think that's a strong prediction from Austin. I really think that's something that we can accomplish as a group. And we're just such a tight group that will let anyone can turn up at any point, and there's no hate. We're such a tight-knit group that I really could see that possible.
So if we're talking about that, it means that Davis Alexander has had a really good year in his first season as a full-time starter, like 4,000 or perhaps 5,000 yards. And I'll put you on the spot. If we're talking about 4,000-yard receivers in the Alouettes receiving group, who are the 4?
That's a great question. Well, I'm never going to leave myself out of that conversation. So I'm going to go Tyson Philpot, 1,000 yards, Austin Mack, 1,000 yards, Charleston Rambo, 1,000 yards. And, I think Tyler Snead has a comeback year, and he goes for 1,000 yards too.
Okay. Cole Speaker's going to be like,
Cole can have 999 or 99, and we'll call it a day. But hey, Cole knows how it is. Cole's going to get his yards the dirty way, and I just say that because we're outside guys, and we get a lot of go balls, so it works in our favor. But if Cole wants to get 1,000, he can go get 1,000 too.
It seems like based on just the way Austin Mack was talking and the vibe I'm getting from you, that there's a different level of excitement with Davis Alexander being at quarterback and the way that his arm can open up the field. Am I reading that right?
Absolutely. Just in practice, seeing his reps. I mean, obviously he got a lot more live reps last year, but it's just something. It's been like a long time coming, kind of thing. I came in the league the same time as him, so we were kind of on that B team together, and we hit it off like that from the start. And I think when Austin came in, he wasn't the starter either, so he was with that B group with Davis, and he was like, "Yeah, man, this guy can throw the ball." And just like I said before, as a receiver and you have a quarterback that is willing to throw that deep ball, I think you're just licking your lips and you're excited to get on the field with him.
How do you and your teammates feel going into 2025, in the context being you won the Grey Cup in 2023. Mm-hmm. Last year you had the best record in the Canadian Football League, did not get to the Grey Cup, but do you guys feel like you're still the hunted, or have you turned back into the hunters because the Toronto Argonauts won their second Grey Cup in 3 seasons?
I would definitely say we're still the hunted. I think we had one off game in the East Final. And, even with how, because that was the worst football we had ever played. And, I wasn't in the game, but everyone on that field speaks the same way about it. We just, we pride ourselves on not turning the football over, and that's what we did. And, Coach Moss, every single meeting will pull up the turnover differential and say, this is why they won, this is why they lost. And he didn't even have to do that for that game, because we all knew within ourselves, especially as an offense, that that's the reason why we lost. We turned the football over. So I would definitely say we're still the hunter, or we're still the hunted. We still have unfinished business for sure, because I know a lot of people are looking forward to that first matchup against Toronto. We feel like we, let one get away from us, and I feel like they felt the same way when we won the Grey Cup. So it's about time to get on that even field and let the better man win.
How heated is that rivalry, especially when you meet Toronto in the playoffs, because it's happened so much recently?
Yeah, I think it's an especially heated battle because one, we don't really like each other, and two, we both kind of think we're imposters. We don't think they're very good, and they don't think we're very good when we're really the best too. But that's just how you have to look at your competition. So I think that's what definitely rises to physicality, and yeah, there's just so many explosive plays from those matchups that if you go back and look, so I think it's always just a great game.
Looking forward to seeing the battle on the field, man. Thanks
Yes,
for the
sir.
time.
Appreciate it.